Hi, I visited two, three countries and inside India also in recent 15 days. So I wanted to share some interesting fact. You know, there are a lot of cultural difference between uh, India and the place where I went. I went to Amsterdam and Brussels, mainly the Europe. So, I mean, I really wonder why we can't have one city like Brussels or Amsterdam, where India is such a vast country. It has got such a vast resource. Even our one city can't compete with them. So, what is the reason? The main reason is obviously the population, but it is the mindset, it is the people's behavior, it is the civic sense which makes the difference. You know, I'll show you some pics of Amsterdam and cities, top cities of India like Delhi or Mumbai or any. You know, our cities are actually, I mean, they're they're breathing under plastics, they're breathing under unplanned construction, they're breathing under broken pavements, there are no room for cyclists. You know what, Amsterdam has got more cycle than the population. They travel by cycle. Here in India, people who generally cannot afford a car or a bike, they, just because they cannot afford, they travel by cycle. So what can be done? I mean, what is the reason? I mean, how and why we cannot make even one city like them? So, as per my understanding, population is obviously the foremost and the primary reason for it. City like Delhi has got 3.5 crore people, 35 million. I mean, the whole Netherlands has got roughly 2 million people. I mean 20 million people, sorry. When you have got such large population, such vast population, obviously the pressure on infrastructure, the pressure on everything, the pressure on roads, the number of cars will be higher, will be densely populated. People will litter also because you don't have enough parks, you don't have enough public places, you don't have enough dustbins. I mean, you simply cannot have to cater these kind of population. But even China has got these many population. Even China at one point of time during 1970 till 1990, our GDP and China's GDP was almost equal. But look at their cities now. You can Google it. They have far, far better infrastructure. They have far, far better understanding of common sense, civic sense of their people. But why cannot, I mean, how and why we cannot build this? Being Indian, I feel actually disgraced when I see people throwing garbage on the roads. When I see people, I daily commute from Faridabad to Noida, and I see people literally throwing their garbage on the roads. And at the Kalindi Kunj in Yamuna, they throw every kind of, the religious, they relate to religious thing, what kind of religion it is, which makes our rivers so polluted, so dirty. After doing puja, we throw everything in the river, and I don't think it is written anywhere in any of our religious books that we should throw these things to river. Earlier, when there were no plastic, maybe some flowers must be offered to the rivers, maybe some biodegradable must be offered. But nowadays, since the invention of plastics, people are throwing everything. They get they buy the statue every Diwali. They buy new statue of Lakshmi ji and Vishnu Bhagwan and Ganesh Bhagwan, and the very next day they throw it without even thinking. Why can't you buy one statue, maybe of some metal, or maybe of something which can be at your house forever, where it is written that you have to buy every Diwali a new murti of Bhagwan, a new statue of our god and goddess, and you throw it without even thinking. I mean, what kind of mentality? What are the religious leaders, so-called religious leaders, are doing? Why can't they say? Why can't they just preach the people that it's not written anywhere? I have read Ramayana, I have read Mahabharata, I have read Gita also. It is not written anywhere. I don't know why have people come to this knowledge that we should throw everything into the river. We have just one river, Yamuna, in Delhi, and look at the condition. I've been to Amsterdam. There are so many canals, so many water bodies, so many rivers, ponds, and every river, every water body was so clean that you know you can't even see even a single plastic there. So why it has come? Let's talk in detail. First of all, education. Our educated people are so dumb, so dumb. I see, I see even on the roads. The Yesterday only I saw one SUV, fancy SUV, and they throw their, they were having some, I think, beer or what. They throw the caps like that on the roads. They threw the wrappers of chips, biscuits, just like that. That they don't even care. At one hand we say that this is our land, this is our Matribhumi, this is our motherland, we worship them, and at the other hand, we are making dirty every day, every minute, every hour. What kind of mentality that we have developed? Even the villagers, the people who live in village, are far concerned about their land, their rivers. But people in cities, I just been to Bihar also. Although the plastics can be seen now even in our fields, but still they have somehow this knowledge that if we throw in the fields, their I mean the production level of the fields can be damaged. So they collect it, and they somehow they manage it. But in the cities, I find them most although they are the mostly educated, but they're the most dumbest people live in the cities. Sorry to say. I clean, people clean their house so well. They have maids, they do mopping every day. But when it comes to shared space, public space, they don't even care. I saw so many buildings, such fancy building, even in my locality, but on their streets, a lot of garbage. They don't even care to clean it. What is the shame in cleaning our streets? If you clean just the space in front of your house, the whole city will be cleaned, But I don't know how it has become shameful to clean our streets. We only get this idea that somebody else will, like the civic authority, even they are also not so having such manpower that they can clean every cities. People's behavior is such that they throw everything on the road. No government can clean, if we have such kind of mindset. Sorry to say. I mean, it's very painful. Second thing, the the kind of food habits that we have in India, since we were agrarian country mainly. Even now 60% people are almost dependent, 50 to 60% on agriculture, and their main production capacity is to feed everybody. In order to feed everyone, we had this green revolution, which were mainly focused on grains like rice and wheat. So in rice and wheat, we only had carbohydrates. Our average height has decreased as compared to the past decades or past centuries, whereas China's height, which were shorter, they were shorter in height, they have increased their average height of their population by just adopting better food habits. We eat so much fried, so much deep fried, oil, fat, unwanted fat. That is why you see our second biggest, after pollution, second biggest problem is obesity in the cities. Not only in the cities, now even villages have got obese people. Every third Indian is suffering from obesity, do you know? And it is the main cause of heart attack. It is the main cause of untimely death in India. We don't include what we eat generally. In the morning we eat paratha, again fat and carbohydrates. In the afternoon when we do lunch, we eat chapati or maybe rice, again carbohydrates, or maybe some few people eat dal also, that has got some protein. Vegetarians have got only few options. They only have maybe paneer or soybean as a protein source. That is why, even during night at the dinner table, we only have rice or chapati. So more or less we are consuming 70 to 80% only carbohydrates, which is creating a pot belly, a fat belly in our body. I think the more prosperous we are getting, the more obesity is now becoming common in our society. Whereas it should have been a different, we should have adopted a more healthier culture towards food habit. What we can do, if mothers of the house, if the family of the house is feeding every day and night to their kids, whenever they feel hungry, they just make Maggie, or that's again, they have some ready-made foods nowadays in cities. 100% they are either carbs or fat. They don't have zero. They don't have any kind of healthy things, nutrients, nothing. They don't have. Guys, please wake up before it is too late. Fourth is, people, I feel, I don't know, people frustrated over here, they don't express happiness when even when they're happy. If you walk on the road, you see the depression, the tension, the pressure on people's face. I Even if you smile, they don't smile you back. I know it's not in our culture to smile on strangers, but I mean, you should be expressive. You should be at least feeling happy inside. And somebody's offer you something, you should say that. I was traveling the other day by metro. I offered a seat to an elderly person. Rather he's saying thank you, he just sat on the seat, and the very next moment his next seat got vacant. What he did, he called his young son, maybe 18 years old, and he made them sit there. I mean, such is the, we don't even feel graceful, we don't even feel gratitude towards our society, even on personal level. Such is the, I mean, degeneration of the society has happened. We are the land of Kama Sutra. I mean, we should have been open towards sexual life, but what we have done, every now and then we find frustrated people roaming around in the cities and on the streets to behave like predators. And if they find any chance to grab someone's, I mean, the women are so unsafe over here. You go to concert, high end parties, the only aim of the people is to satisfy their sexual desire. Why don't you do at your home? Yeah, what is the problem? At one hand, you feel ashamed to talk about it in public, but what you do in public? The number of rape cases per capita in India is highest, among the highest in the world. That is reported. I don't know how many cases goes unreported. Why are we so frustrated sexually? I feel ashamed when I hear the cases of 5 years old girl, 270 years old women gets raped, get sexually exploited. The other day I was hearing a boy who is just 19 years old, he sexually harassed 190 minor girls. How can, I mean, the mathematics does not add up to his age. How can someone who is 19 years old boy, I mean, and he not only exploited them, but he made videos so that he can blackmail them in the future. What has become, I mean, how low we have become as a society. I feel really very bad about it. Look at our public spaces, parks, railway station, airports. Although airport has become cleaner, the railway station has become cleaner, but look at the surrounding area of, I just happened to come from Bihar the other day, just 10 days back, to New Delhi railway station. You know, the number one railway station of India, New Delhi railway. If you exit from Ajmeri gate, you see so many vendors just, you know, unregulated, in a very ill-mannered way. They're serving the people, poor people, and I don't know, whatsoever. And throwing garbage on the roads, spilling water, spilling leftover aisles on the road, and such a dirty picture. I mean, I was thinking, I mean, how can even one number one station of India can be so dirty? Look at Anand Vihar railway station. Such is the gutka, pan masala spitting all around. I mean, as a society, why we have not learned the right way to live? What is the education level that is being taught in the schools? But I have very high hope from Generation Z, Generation G. I get to see a lot of videos. They are cleaning rivers. I just saw the other day a 19-year-old boy, again, he's an example from Madhya Pradesh, I guess. He cleaned single handedly one river. And Anand Mahindra also tweeted about him, also shared this story about him. Such should be the example. I think Gen Z would be more responsible. There, they will be. I don't think any Gen Z will be having gutkas or pan. I don't think so. So obviously, the time will come when India will also be cleaner. But what about these days? Very bad situation. Oh, yeah, one more important thing. Because of the less population in Amsterdam, they value people's life. Because of the, there the maximum labor or the number of hours they can work is 36 hours per week. Whereas, since we have such high demand of jobs, for one job so many people apply. I was hearing the other day, for 600 some jobs there were 1,50,000 applicant made in Rajasthan. Just imagine, for 600, and the job was of some peon or some grade D job. So when you have such high density of applicants for one single job, obviously you will not value the life. There is no work life balance. Even the person who is earning much, he feels the pressure that, if I don't do extra work, extra hour, somebody else will take my job, you know and he can work more number of hours. Such is the situation. I don't know when and how would it would improve, but I hope. Since 75 years we have made a lot of progress. Our average age when we got independence was, average life of a person was like 32 33 years. Now it is 60 67 years. Our education, the percentage of literate people were just 13 14%, and there were only few hundred colleges. Now education system has really has improved a lot. I think by next 25 30 years things will change. I'm really hopeful for India. uh, Looking at the economic growth of our country, I think it will change for sure. Thank you.